Hi everybody, this is Dr. Luis Acosta-Manos in Lisbon, and today I'm going to go over a simple stretch or simple mobilization for the lower back and hips, because one of the things that we do a lot of as adults is we sit, and we go from sitting to standing, and we even might do some pattern movement in the gym or exercise, but not a lot of those habits will lead to you opening up your hips very much, or getting into this stretch where your hips are opening up. And never mind that, do we ever get into that position while we're also playing around with the position of the pelvis, which can be a really good way to relieve tension in the lower back, relieve pain, getting into this opened up hip position and then playing around with the position of your pelvis a little bit, just to sort of let things move the way that they haven't been moving in a while. Because whether you just sit for work or whether you do some kind of exercise class on a regular basis, usually the issues that we're dealing with, the issues that crop up, or very often the issues that crop up are just forms or areas or movements that we're not trained for or not used to doing. We go to apply a movement some random time through the day, and those are getting into positions that maybe we haven't been accustomed to. And so I find a good way to prevent getting injured is to get myself into as strange of positions as possible, try to move my joints all through their full range of motion and train my joints through their full range of motion as often as possible, so that when that day comes where I'm forced to lift something in a strange manner or reach behind me and twist at the spine to pick something out of the back seat because my dog is back there making a mess or something, I'm not going to injure myself, or I'm not going to get this flare up of pain. So anyway, all that to say, I'm going to show you a simple mobilization today for the low back and pelvis, and yeah, let's get into it. We're going to get onto the floor in order to do this, and we're just going to widen our knees a little bit. You're going to keep your hands in front of you like this. So it's kind of in a crawling position. So you're going to put your hands more or less shoulder width apart, and you're going to widen the knees as far as you can, or whatever's comfortable. And we're going to do a few repetitions. So while your knees are wide like this, your feet can be a little bit more narrow, almost be touching. And we're just going to pulse back and forth. We want to keep the spine more or less in the neutral position, but we're going to pulse back and forth. And arms remain straight. We're not going into this big forward bend like a child's pose. We're going to just rock back and forth. And as we rock, the relationship with your pelvis and your femurs are changing. We're forcing a little bit of internal rotation as we rock back and forth here at the hip. But we're going to exaggerate that a little bit and just get a bigger stretch into our adductors. And we're just going to open the knees little by little. And little by little, you can open the feet a bit as well. So after doing 5 repetitions or so, try to open the knees a bit more and try to open the feet a bit more. But we're staying with this more or less upright posture. Then what we're going to do is rest back into this position after we found what our maximum width is of our knees and our feet. And then when we rest back in this position, I want you to try and do a few things, which is just to breathe. I want you to be able to expand the rib cage here in this position. If you can't breathe in this position, you might be a little bit too much and you have to bring a little bit closer. You might be just getting into too far range of motion, or too much of a stretch. And then we're going to start to do pelvic tilts in this position. So rounding, tucking the tailbone under and then extending it, okay? Tucking the tailbone under and extending it. So you'll do maybe 12 to 15 repetitions of this, nice and slow. And you'll take a break, walk around, and come back to this. And if you're doing it correctly, it should, or if you're in need of this, it should open up the hips, make you feel a little bit lighter, a little bit less pain in the lower back, remove a little bit of tension. Remember, breathe into those movements and just play around with that position at the very end, okay? Try it out, let me know, or yeah, include it into your regular mobility routine. And yeah, look forward to the next one.